Most people think NVIDIA became successful because of artificial intelligence. But the truth is far more interesting. The company that now powers the AI revolution was not originally built for AI at all. For decades, NVIDIA was simply known as a graphics card company, a company serving gamers, a company helping people play video games with smoother graphics and higher frame rates. Nothing about that business suggested it would one day become one of the most valuable companies in history. Yet today, NVIDIA sits at the center of one of the largest technological shifts the world has ever seen. Its chips power artificial intelligence. Its technology supports data centers across the globe, and its influence reaches nearly every major AI company on the planet. So how did NVIDIA become worth trillions of dollars? The answer begins with a decision made decades ago, a decision that most people ignored. In 1993, NVIDIA was founded by Jensen Huang and two co-founders. The company entered an extremely competitive market. Many technology companies were building graphics hardware. Most eventually disappeared. NVIDIA survived. But survival alone was not enough. The company needed an advantage. Jensen Huang believed that computing would become increasingly visual. Games would become more complex. Software would demand more graphical power, and users would expect richer digital experiences. This belief led NVIDIA to focus relentlessly on graphics processing units, or GPUs. At first, GPUs seemed like a niche product. CPUs handled most computing tasks. GPUs were viewed as specialized tools. But NVIDIA kept improving them, year after year, generation after generation. The company was quietly building expertise that competitors struggled to match. What appeared to be a narrow market was actually becoming a foundation for something much larger. Then came a discovery that changed everything. Researchers realized GPUs could perform certain calculations dramatically faster than traditional processors. The same hardware used to render graphics could also accelerate scientific computing, machine learning, data analysis, and eventually, artificial intelligence. Most companies would have treated this as an interesting side opportunity. NVIDIA treated it as the future. The company invested heavily in CUDA, a software platform that allowed developers to harness GPU power for purposes beyond gaming. At the time, many people did not understand the significance of this decision. Investors paid little attention. The media focused elsewhere, but NVIDIA was planting seeds, and those seeds would compound for years. Building technology is difficult. Building an ecosystem is much harder. NVIDIA understood this. Instead of selling hardware alone, it created tools, documentation, libraries, and developer support. Thousands of engineers began learning the NVIDIA ecosystem. Universities adopted it. Researchers depended on it. Companies built products around it. Over time, switching away became increasingly difficult. This created one of the strongest competitive advantages in modern technology. Not just products, an ecosystem. An ecosystem's compound. Every new developer made the platform more valuable. Every new application attracted more users. Every new breakthrough reinforced NVIDIA's position. Then came the AI explosion. Large language models, image generation, machine learning systems, data center expansion. Suddenly, the world needed enormous amounts of computing power, and NVIDIA was ready. While competitors rushed to respond, NVIDIA had spent decades preparing. The company wasn't reacting to the AI revolution. It had unknowingly been preparing for it. This is one of the most important lessons in business. The biggest opportunities often appear long before the world notices them. Most people focus on trends. Great companies focus on capabilities. Trends come and go. Capabilities compound. NVIDIA did not become successful because it predicted every future event perfectly. It became successful because it built assets that remained valuable under many possible futures. The company invested in engineering excellence, developer relationships, software infrastructure, research, and long-term thinking. These investments looked expensive in the short run, but extraordinary in the long run. Another lesson from NVIDIA is the power of patience. Modern markets reward quarterly results. Investors demand immediate growth. Executives often optimize for short-term performance. Yet many of NVIDIA's most important decisions required years before producing meaningful returns. Patience is difficult because results are invisible for a long time. But invisible progress is often where the greatest value is created. NVIDIA spent decades building foundations. When the AI boom arrived, those foundations suddenly became visible. To outsiders, success appeared rapid. To insiders, it was the result of 30 years of preparation. This pattern appears repeatedly throughout history. People see the outcome. They rarely see the decades of work that created it. The story of NVIDIA is not really a story about chips. It is a story about compounding. Compounding knowledge, compounding relationships, compounding technology, compounding trust, compounding strategic decisions. Every year of preparation increased the value of the next year, and eventually, the effect became extraordinary. Today, NVIDIA stands as one of the most influential companies in the world. But perhaps its greatest lesson is surprisingly simple. The future often belongs to those willing to invest in opportunities before they become obvious. Because by the time everyone sees the opportunity, the real advantage may already belong to those who started years earlier. And that is how NVIDIA became worth trillions.